everybody. Welcome to the Bark Knight Podcast. I am Patrick.
And I'm Dan.
So welcome to our 40th episode. Today we're going to be talking about two different movies. We're going to talk about The Accountant 2 and Warfare. Then we're going to talk about a little bit of the box office news because some interesting things have been happening. And we're going to talk about a whole bunch of new trailers that dropped this week. So, fun little episode.
Yeah.
So, Dan, you saw The Accountant 2, right?
I did, yes.
Cool. Then we're both on the same page for this
Same page.
If anybody's wondering, we were planning on watching Until Dawn for this episode too, but neither of us saw it, and we both heard it was terrible.
Right.
So we decided to skip that one.
Yeah, I was trying to make myself go see it at like noon on Sunday, and then I saw the reviews, and I was like, meh. I'll talk about Warfare.
Everybody says it's very bad, so yeah.
That's unfortunate. That stinks. I was hoping for it. I like the game a lot. I've been telling you to play it for years, but...
Yeah, I think that's the problem, that a lot of people said that it's pretty rough for people that are fans of the game.
Oh, then I will hate it then.
Okay, The Accountant 2. The plot of this movie is that a treasury director, an assassin, and the accountant
walk into a bar,
join forces to investigate the murder of an old friend and colleague. Yes. And that's a really high-level plot of the movie. It has a few little twists and turns and a little things they try to do in it, but that's basically what it is. So the budget of the movie is $80 million. The first one had a budget of $44 million, so they bumped it up a little bit with this one. Yep, you can. I don't know if you can see it, to be honest with you. I'm sure most of that goes towards the cast, but. Box office wise, it took in $24.5 million over the weekend.
Solid.
In the U.S. and Canada, and came to a total of $37.7 worldwide. So to compare it to the first one, once again, the first had 24.7, so it dropped by 0.2. The first one also took a final total of $155.5 million at the end. So pretty similar numbers for opening weekend, but it had like super staying power for the first one.
That movie had legs for sure.
Yeah. And, I think it's also worth mentioning that this was 9 years ago.
Yeah. I didn't realize it was that long ago because I had just watched the new one. The first one, recently. I didn't realize it was out for that long.
Yeah, 2016. The theater landscape was a little bit different when the first one came out, so I'd be willing to bet that this one doesn't get there. I don't think it'll make money. It might make its budget back, but I don't know. I think it might struggle a little bit, especially with the upcoming releases. So, Sinners is still killing it at the box office. Thunderbolts is coming out this weekend.
That's a big one.
Yeah. And theaters just ain't doing what they're doing now 9 years ago.
Unless you're Minecraft.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I don't want to be negative about the whole thing, though, but that's kind of what I think is. I don't know that it's going to do that well in the long run.
Right. You say the $144 million, was it, for the first movie?
So the first movie had a final total of
$155, I'm sorry.
Million.
That is a hell of a... to start off at 24 and make it to that mark is very impressive.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I don't really have an explanation for it either.
And plus, one more thing about the box office is that we're getting into summer movie season. Like, the legs probably aren't going to be there because it's going to just be undercut by Marvel movie, Disney remake, crap like that. It's going to be coming out and just taking over the overall numbers, I think.
Yeah. So we'll see. It'll be an interesting one to watch. It'll be crazy if it does do that.
I hope it does. I think, I don't want to knock the movie, but as you say, when you get to the reviews now.
Right. So for the reviews for the movie, things are a little bit inconsistent. So on IMDb, we got 7.2.
Solid.
The first one had 7.3, so only a slight decrease there. On Rotten Tomatoes, critics had 78%, up from them having 53% with the first one. Audiences are at 98%.
Shocking to me.
Up from 77% for the first one. Yeah, that one is really surprising to me for Rotten Tomatoes. Metacritic is at a 58. The first one had a 51. So I like so that one's like a little bit of a weird one to me
It is,
too.
yeah.
Like why Metacritic, why were those ones so low compared to the other
Right.
things? Uh Cinemascore is an A minus for
Good.
this one, and it was an A for the first one. So that's interesting. And then for Threads, I had told you about this. People are absolutely tearing this movie apart on Threads,
Which, yeah, and
and
that's surprising that the Threads has the negative wave going for it. That the Rotten Tomatoes fan score is so high. Just maybe sometimes maybe it's a
yeah,
broken system. Maybe people are just like, oh, movie was fine, so it doesn't. You don't give it a bad rating, and then it's good or something. You know what I mean?
well, I think the outlier with Threads is that it is made up primarily of people like
Yeah.
us. People like YouTube creators, podcast people, TikTok. Like it's all it. I'm like it is a lot of creators
Hmm.
on there, and I guess their tastes are just a little bit different. I know I have one guy that I follow on there that does a lot of Marvel movies and comic book movies and things like that, and I mean, coming off of Thread or Sinners too. Like a lot of people are super into that. So coming off that, and then the next weekend it's up against
Hmm.
this. So maybe that's got something to do with it. Maybe it's they're critics, but like not like professional
Right.
critics. Like I would never call myself a critic, but I review movies.
Yeah.
Um, so different audience than the rest of these. So I think that's kind of where it's coming from. But I having now seen the movie, I was surprised at how much it was getting ravaged on Threads. So that was interesting.
So what are they saying?
Basically, they all just said this is a very bad movie.
Right. And that's fair.
So the director of this is Gavin O'Connor. He is the director of the first one. He also directed Miracle,
Hmm.
Pride and Glory, Warrior. Have you seen Warrior, the one with Tom
That's
Hardy?
the UFC movie. That's solid.
Yeah, that is a good movie. And he directed some of the TV show The
Oh, nice. I like
Americans.
that show.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of The Americans. For the cast, we've got Ben Affleck as Christian Wolf, John Bernthal as Braxton. They need no
No, you know who
introduction.
they are.
Yeah. And then we have returning from the first movie, Cynthia Addai-Robinson. She's really, other than this series, she's been in a bunch of things, but she's really only like known for like a big part as the queen in The Rings of Power,
Okay.
if you remember her.
No.
The queen of like the
Oh,
kingdom
yes,
of
yes,
Gaza.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. And then we have J.K.
Hmm.
Simmons for approximately 6 minutes.
Yes. It's there to get that
And
paycheck.
yeah. And we have Daniella Pineda, which I'm not going to lie. The whole time I was watching this movie, I thought it was the actress that plays Mantis.
Yeah, I give you that. Palm. I can't say her last name. It's Palm. Some.
Clementif or
Yes,
something.
something along those lines. I didn't know who she
Yeah.
was. I had to Google her, and then when I saw she was in one of the crappy Jurassic Park movies, I'm like, okay. Well, I shouldn't say Jurassic Park.
She
Jurassic
was in
World.
both of the crappy Jurassic World
Yes.
movies. She was in Dominion and Fallen Kingdom.
Fallen Kingdom doesn't exist in my brain. I just completely blocked that out with like something else. I don't know.
Yeah, I've not seen either of those yet. She
Avoid
was
them.
also in the movie Plane. Did you watch that one?
That's the Gerard Butler one, right?
Yeah, Gerard Butler and the guy that plays Luke
Yeah,
Cage.
it's not bad.
Mike Coulter.
She's in that.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. She was like the main stewardess.
Oh, okay, I got you.
Flight attendant. Are you not allowed to say stewardess?
I don't think
anymore?
so. You're gonna get canceled, bro.
Yeah. She was the main flight
Yes.
attendant. And then, so this is where I really recognized her. Is she was in Cowboy Bebop. Did you watch the live action adaptation of
No,
that?
I meant to, and it's just been one of those ones I've missed, and then like it came out, had some buzz, and then died. I'd never heard a word from it since then.
Yeah, it just
Yeah.
vanished. So, yeah, I mean, she's pretty good in that. So, she's quite different than she is here. So, and then the last thing I had is I don't know if you noticed this, but the woman that helps Ben Affleck out, they switched up the casting for her. So the casting was Allison Robertson as
Mhm.
Justine, replacing Allison Wright, and Allison Wright did still provide the voice acting for like the British
Sure.
voice that goes over the phone. And I looked into that because I was like,
Why would
that's
they do
weird.
that?
Like yeah, why did they do that? And then I found that because it's an autistic character, they decided for the second one that they wanted to have more autistic representation.
That's good then. That's
So
good
I
they
was
did
like,
that.
yeah, like once I saw that, I was like, okay. It was a little bit like weird at first, and like it was interesting how they did it because they're like hiding her face like a
Mhm.
lot in those early scenes.
Yeah.
But it did stand out to me because I was like, is that a different actor?
She seemed different.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah, but they did bring Allison right back to do the voice, so she's still involved, didn't get completely, cut out of the deal. So, that's cool. So that's the cast. So let's talk about our reviews. Dan, what did you think of this? So you're coming off just having
watched the first one
for the first
yes.
time.
When you said you wanted to do this review, went back and watched it. It's been a movie that you and other people I know have suggested for a while. Went back, watched the first one, thoroughly enjoyed the first one, had a good time with it. Went into this with,
Right.
hoping it would be a good time and that I'd enjoy it. And I gotta say, I didn't like it as much as the first one. I would say the first one, in my opinion, is a better movie. This one, just some of the stuff in there just didn't quite hit for me. Like even like almost like right off the bat, like for the first scenes with the speed dating scene, like that did not work for me. And then immediately I'm just like, oh. And then I had that face for like 20 minutes after that. I'm like, why did they do that shit? That was weird. So, and then the movie had to struggle to get back with me after that point. So, didn't love it, didn't hate it, thought it was fine. I wouldn't suggest, like, I'm not gonna say like go out and see this movie. Like it's worth. You can wait when it goes on streaming, put it on at that point. It's fine, but nothing special.
Yeah, so it's got some issues. It's a completely different tone than
Yes.
the first movie, I'll
Yes.
say. But it's also like an uneven tone. Like you have scenes like that, and then you have really serious scenes. And so like the pacing of how and how these things meld together, it's a little bit clunky.
Right.
A lot of it as they go through, it kind of seems like they're things are happening and they're not really explaining them well.
Right.
Like it 9 years. You could have polished this script a little bit more in that time. To talk about the speed dating scene, yeah, it had that whole thing where it's like, oh, I mastered the algorithm,
and then I hacked your thing and put my
and like you're like
no, the girls ran to you for some reason.
Like, what did you actually do?
Yeah.
Like why is this scene happening like this?
Yeah. And it's coming off of like a murder, like a character gets murdered, and then boom, speed dating scene, and it's like, so yeah, you said it. The tonal shifts are weird, and there'll be like buddy cop moments, and then like extreme violence, and it's just like, what the hell are you trying to do here?
Yeah, I will say overall, I did enjoy the movie. I think that it rests solely on the shoulders of Ben Affleck and John Bernthal.
Yeah, I can't argue that.
It would have been much better if they had just straight up leaned into the buddy road trip.
Yeah, you just could have cut out that speed dating scene, cut out another scene that was later on that I didn't love, and boom. Or even like just edit it. Like I'm talking about the country bar scene.
Oh yeah. I kind of liked that scene. I think it was fun. It felt a little bit out of place.
That's what I'm saying.
I think maybe it's just editing the movie together a little bit better, or I don't know, writing it a little bit better. I don't know, but like, yeah, there's these weird shifts where it's just like it's not exactly what you expect it's going to be.
Right.
It's quite different than the first one, and it just doesn't seem to be polished that much.
That's a good way to put it. The polish isn't there. There's characters that are in there that you're just like, who's this again? Like they disappear for like 10, 20 minutes at a time. They come back. You're like, what? Who's this? Like there's like a third string assassin that shows up every now and then, does some stuff, and then leaves the screen. You're like, what is he doing? Is he intimidating? Am I supposed to care about him? I just don't.
Are you talking about the guy that looked like Dollar General Josh?
You nailed it. Joshua Johnson?
Josh Hart.
Josh Hart, it does.
Like a dollar store Josh.
Sorry, who am I thinking of? Joshua Jackson's who I'm thinking of, yeah.
Yeah, like he kind of reminded me of like Josh Hartnett's character in like Wrath of Man.
I haven't seen that one.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
It's actually pretty good. But yeah, that character, you're just like, what are they doing with this character?
Like,
like is he gonna try and get redemption and like he doesn't seem really into a lot of things that are happening.
Yeah,
and there's this weird thing at the beginning where you think he's recognized this girl. I will say, so everything that involves the villains and the female assassin is terribly
Yeah,
written. Like
everything.
every single aspect of it. The villains are
Yeah.
bad. And the twist that they
Oh
throw
yeah.
in there, I won't spoil the twist for everybody. It makes zero
No,
sense.
it's frankly kind of like almost what's the word here where it's like you shouldn't put
Stupid.
it's the dumbest thing. Like I don't know how to not spoil it without saying, but there's a twist. They think they're clever. It's stupid. It's the dumbest thing.
It's and I'm so it happens right before the big climax of the movie, and I was sitting there, and like once the climax starts, I'm like, what the hell just happened? Like,
Yeah, yeah.
and now you guys are just like you've just moved on from it.
Like this is how this works. Like no, it's not how it works. I did.
And then I'm like, after a couple minutes, I was like, you know what? I just need to not think about that. We're at the climax now. I need to have a good time with this because this is the money shot of the movie. This is where all the money went.
It definitely was too.
They're going in here and they're shooting everybody and they're blowing things up. I was like, this is what I'm here for. This scene. So I got to enjoy this. I got to just take that twist and just strike it out of my mind and not think about it for the rest.
But
of
on
the
the ride home,
yeah.
it pops back in your head. You're like, what the hell was that?
Yeah, it's like that didn't make any sense. Like,
yeah, and then they set that character up. You're like, okay, she's gonna come back and get some revenge, and I guess she does at the very end. But like you said, the whole like climax battle that the movie spent all this money on, she doesn't show up. And I thought for sure she'd show up somehow.
I thought she would too because he says like, "Oh, your son is in Juarez," and you expect she's gonna go to rescue her son. She does not. Like, okay.
All right, yeah, sure.
She just went to Prague or wherever they find her later in the movie.
It's almost like there's two movies being made at the same time. They're just like, you know what? Good. Just smush them together and we're good.
Yeah, and that's the disappointing thing because so watching John Bernthal and Ben Affleck hang out together and just have a good time, that stuff is great. You know, seeing them, driving around together, they get in a bar fight together, they're investigating together, seeing all these things, the scene with them just sitting on top of the trailer, having beers together, great. And I liked that arc. I liked their interactions together. I liked all of that. The mystery that they're trying to solve in the midst of all that just doesn't really make much sense.
No.
And they don't explain it well as they go along. It's just like, why is this happening?
Yeah, it's like it's like human trafficking.
It's because of this, and this, and then you're like, but then that doesn't make sense.
Why are they in Juarez?
Like, it's okay.
Yeah, human trafficking, but they're in Juarez. But also, some of them came to America, and it's like, but how is this character here, and then this other character went back this way, and he's being kept here for reasons.
That's the thing. They're like, so this character is here, and then they went here, and then they went here, and then this person got killed, and then this person got killed, and then this person got killed, and then did this person? No, this person. Someone might have. And then this person is this person, and this person is this person, and like as they're going through, you're like, are we talking about Pepe Sylvia here? Like
getting whiplash from all these attempted moves you're making here.
Yeah, and that's the disappointing thing of it is like they could have stripped most of that stuff just out. Just have Ben Affleck, John Bernthal hunting traffickers. Right. That's all you need.
I'm in for that.
Just that. Your mystery is not working out. Just have that. You can cut out a good 30, 40 minutes of this movie, and it's probably better.
Or even if you did what you said there, then actually follow up on the Ben Affleck looking for a life partner thing instead of just be like, oh, speed dating, random country bar scene. That's it. No resolution there. But maybe I'm wanting too much from The Accountant too. But yeah, I think this one, as I said, you can wait for DVD for or streaming for. I mean to say.
Yeah, I would say you can.
I don't dislike it.
It's unfortunate because I feel like I would like to see a third one.
Yeah.
And they obviously want to make a third one. They've actually talked about it in the press. But I don't know if it's going to happen after this. It might. Who knows? There's these... They shouldn't have spent $80 million on it, I think is the thing. If they had spent $40 on it, which I think you could have made this movie for $40. Right?
And, it's an Amazon-backed project, so you're not going to throw in a streaming and be like, oh, I made all this money off streaming. And then...
is it an
I
Amazon
thought I saw
one?
that. Is it an... MGM, and MGM is owned by Amazon now.
MGM is owned by Amazon now. You know what ticks me off about MGM.
The Lion?
They're owned by Amazon, but they have their own streaming service, MGM
They
Plus
do?
or whatever. It's the most. I did a trial of it because they have like most of the James Bond movies on there, and other than you're basically just
That's
they're keeping it round as a revenue stream for the James Bond movies. That is it. Like you get in there, it's like 80-90% James Bond movies, and then a couple other things, and then it's like you guys, you don't need this. Wrap all this into the app's not even good. Like just wrap it into.
Didn't they do that with like HBO Max? Like there was like a DC universe streaming service, and like this doesn't work. They just smushed it.
They did. They had a bunch of features there that people were upset about them wrapping into it too. But yeah, anyways, so you know one thing, you're gonna like this. I saw someone point out that Ben Affleck changed his character's voice a little bit, and now he sounds like comic book guy from The Simpsons.
Yeah, I know. I
and like
that's one thing that Holly.
I was like,
yeah, go ahead.
I was like, who's comic book guy?
Oh,
and
come
then
on.
I watched a video of it, and I was like, oh, this guy. And then I hear him talk, and I'm like,
insert
there's
photo.
There's a couple things there where he sounds exactly.
He does. He really does. And that's funny because
it is weird how he changes his character's voice like that. You know, like he just decided to go a little bit of a different way with it.
Yeah, and I like that reference. I didn't get it. I thought there was something he sounded familiar to. I thought maybe it was the guy from Office Space, was where my brain went with it for a bit there.
Milton?
Yeah, but that's Holly said that after the movie too. She goes, he seemed like a different character. I'm like, he kind of did seem a little like a similar but different character than the first movie. But again, we just watched the first movie, so it's fresh in our minds. So, and it's again not to keep crap.
The first one's dark too. It's like a dark movie. There is zero.
This one they Marvelize. They put the Marvel humor in there.
Yeah, I had thought about what if a new one gets made, if a third one gets made, and I took down a couple of notes of what they've talked about wanting to do and what I think they would do. So Gavin O'Connor said that they'd like to do a third movie, and he would like to bring Anna Kendrick's character back for that one because she was in the first one but not the second one. She's very good in the first one, and I think if they brought her back and they could bring in more of like an accountant style mystery like that where he's trying to like all that stuff with the corporate espionage and Andrew Kendrick and him writing on the walls and everything, all that stuff was very good in the first one. It was so well thought out. Jean Smart is there, she's great. John Lithgow is there, he's great. Like, the mystery in the first one, top notch. Bring her back. She's an accountant. Maybe she comes to him for help with, like, an issue she's having or something. Don't kill her in the first 5 minutes.
No, J.K. Simmons. Oh, God. And not to stick with it, but, like, it's just so dumb, too. Like, he runs out of a bar where he was attacked, and he runs right in the middle of the street and just stands there. It's like, move, man.
Yeah, run.
You started running. You were doing so well.
Also, this woman's an assassin. Ask her for help.
Yeah,
real help. She's probably down to do it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Sorry. That just fired my brain. I'm like, why did they do that? So the third movie, if there was a third movie, I apologize.
Yeah, I think that's where they would wrap up the female assassin's arc. You know, have her reunite with her son, remembering more of her memories, all that stuff. I also think that they are hinting at shifting John Bernthal's character away from being an assassin in future installments. He's having issues with his handler already in this one. His handler brings up his brother being a problem. I think the handler, he sounded like Russian or something. I think he would probably be
the big bad,
the big main villain of the next one. They've got to get a better
big bad
head henchman to be there with him because that guy ain't fighting either one of these dudes. But they had hinted at something towards the end there where he says that, and this is like a spoiler alert, you know, plug your ears for a second. But they had said that he served time in like a Russian prison it was called Black Dolphin Prison. The women trafficking operation, they're like tattooing black dolphins on all the women, so he's probably involved in that. That can't be a coincidence that they do that. Their writing's not good enough for coincidences. It's all spelled out, right?
Hot take.
But yeah, I think that guy they were lining him up to be the villain of
Yeah.
the next one, I'd imagine.
I would think so too. Or just, Amazon owns it, just bring Jack Reacher in. Have him fight Jack Reacher.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there was moments in this where it seemed almost like a Jack Ryan type
Yeah.
thing, Jack Ryan, Jack Reacher, those types of things, which is different than the first one, I think they tried to adapt this one to be more like the other things that are out there right now, and not enough of like what made the first one as good as it was. So
I agree with that completely.
So that's all I got for The Accountant 2. You got any final thoughts?
No, just, I wouldn't say it's disappointing, but yeah, the first one's better in my opinion.
The first one is better. I don't think this one's a complete disaster, despite it having a lot of issues, but I would say you do not need to pay to see this at the theater.
Yeah, 98% Rotten Tomatoes for the fan vote is insane to me, but good for it.
It's a great time to be John Bernthal.
Yeah.
I think that's resting on his shoulders.
Yeah, he's great in this movie too. Like he brings in every scene he's in.
Yeah, he really does. You almost just wish they had brought him in earlier, like you said. Yeah. All right. Warfare. So yes, as Pat said, I went and actually caught Warfare the same weekend I saw Sinners. Didn't know much about it. Didn't hear much about it. It kind of like all of a sudden I just saw like a YouTube trailer for it, and it's like Warfare. I'm like, oh, that's weird. And I didn't know they was putting out a new war movie. And I like war movies enough, I seek them out kind of. Like I like watching war movies. And, didn't hear anything about it. Then all of a sudden it started getting good reviews, good buzz. So me and Holly went and caught it. And released by A24, 97 minutes long, so quick movie. Nothing's going to take your whole afternoon. Rotten Tomatoes, it has 93% from the critics and 93% from the fans. IMDb is sitting at a 7.9. Metacritic has got a 78, and it earned a A- Cinemascore. So it's doing very well, like across all review platforms, I would say. Yeah.
Directed by Alex Garland, who directed Ex Machina. He directed Civil War. He directed Annihilation with Natalie Portman, and co-directed actually with Ray Mendoza, who was his military liaison on the movie Civil War. Have you seen that movie? It came out like last year, I think.
I did see Civil War. Civil War is very good.
I haven't seen that yet, which is weird. I know that I once saw this movie and not seen Civil War yet, but that's life, man. And
Civil War is not. It's not really a war movie. The story of that one really is about like wartime photographers.
Yeah. But it's just So Ray Mendoza worked as his military liaison in that movie, and he co-directs this movie. So it's actually based on his experience in the Iraqi War in November 19th of 2006, after the Battle of Ramadi. I apologize. And it's Ray Mendoza's unit and what happened to them during this botched surveillance mission. And it was made for a budget of $20 million. And first weekend, it took in $8.3 million and has grossed $24.5 million worldwide at this point. So it's doing well. Like, it's not blowing the doors off of anything, but it's doing pretty well for being kind of a small budget war movie. Stars Will Poulter, who most famously probably from Guardians of the Galaxy 3, playing Adam Warlock. He was in Midsommar. He was in We Are the Millers. He's been in a lot of stuff. You probably recognize him if you don't recognize the name yet, if you saw his face.
Yeah, he's really good in The Bear.
I heard that. I haven't seen The Bear yet. I should put that on my list too.
Yeah, it's really good. So anybody that has seen The Bear and still doesn't know what Dan's talking about, he's the guy in, I want to say he's in Amsterdam, maybe? He's like a pastry chef, I think.
Right. So he's in it. Joseph Quinn's in it. Joseph Quinn, rising star. He's been, of course, A Quiet Place Day 1 last year. He was in Stranger Things last season. He's going to be the Human Torch in the upcoming Fantastic Four movie. Big time rising star. Guy is just going, and he's going to keep going and going and going.
Gladiator
2. Yep, you're right. He's really good in that. He's a lot of fun in that. Wish he was the only guy in that, but that's all right. We'll move past that. And then lastly, the actor who played Ray Mendoza, the guy who is the co-director of this movie, I'm going to ruin this name, and I apologize in advance. DeFaro Woon-A-Tai, who is most notably from Reservation Dogs, the FX show. Have you watched that? I have not either.
I'm aware of what it is.
I know of it. I heard it's good. Haven't caught it. But yeah, they star in it, and it's as I said, 97 minutes long. And it just, you get a brief moment. It opens with like the group of soldiers sitting around watching like an old exercise video, and then they go out, and then it's just, you're in it for that 97 minutes, and it is tense as hell. The sound design is excellent. It really makes you feel like you're experiencing what those soldiers are experiencing. And yeah, it just so intense. Like it doesn't let up. And then not to go too far into like spoilers on it, but like it's just a tight little 97-minute movie about how much these men went through. And it's just this one day in the Iraqi war and like how like you're stuck in this building, you're surrounded by people shooting at you. There's IEDs coming at you. There's just people on the roof. Like it is tense. That is the word for it. And it's like not overly. No, I shouldn't say that. There is some graphic violence in it, but like you know how like most war movies you see like gunfights and like pew like the Americans shoot like 65 non-American hostiles and such. You don't get this with this movie. It's basically just the Americans are pinned down, being shot at. They're trying to just survive, and a couple of them get wounded badly, and they're just trying to make it to the point where they can be rescued. And it was so much better than I expected. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think it's this one. I said that you can wait for the accountant. If you have any interest in this movie, Warfare, I say go catch it because it is worth your time.
Nice. Is there any war movies that you would compare to?
I had Black Hawk Down vibes to it.
Okay.
So
I had kind of picked up Black Hawk Down vibes from the trailer.
just from it being like an urban battle setting, you know, like Black Hawk Down takes place in Mogadishu, I think, and it's again it's building to building conflict, and this is just one building, but similar kind of vibe, and the acting's great, the sound's great. Yeah, it was really, really, really cool. And when I was looking at just kind of like neat tidbits for the movie, Michael Gandolfini, do you know him at all?
Yeah, James Gandolfini's
James Gandolfini's son. Yeah, he's in this movie. He plays one of the Marines, and on the set of the movie, Ray Mendoza brought in his people who he went through this with, came on set, and apparently James Gandolfini donated or bought watches for military members who were wounded in the Iraqi war. And a couple of the guys who got wounded in this movie, when they show up in the set, they showed him the watches that James Gandolfini bought for them. So I thought that was kind of a cool little full circle moment I wanted to bring up.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, dude, if you like war movies at all, I'd suggest it. It was really good. And like I said, it's 97 minutes and it's intense. There's no like letdown. Once it gets going, it just goes. And then it just like ends. And some people had an issue with it just kind of like, ending, but I think that's the only way you can tell the story is that like it was just them surviving until they could get out of there.
Right.
And just taking my notes here, and I believe that's all I really had on it. Just I was impressed with it, and it's crazy that I got to see Sinners in this movie within like 3 days of each other. So
yeah, that's a good weekend right there.
So
yeah, I've wanted to see this one. I might have to go check this out. It looked very good, and I like Alex Garland a lot. There's not been a single one of his movies I didn't like.
Yeah, this one I'd watch again. This one I'll probably end up buying when it comes out in physical media. So
you should watch Civil War. Civil War is very good.
It's one I wanted to. It's one that me and Holly had circled to watch, and then something happened. You know how life goes, and then we missed it, and then just you know how it goes.
Yeah, I would give that one a shot because it's like I said, it's not a war movie, but it's got some scenes in it that are super tense. And Kaylee Spaney, the girl that plays Rain in Alien Romulus, she is the young photographer that Kirsten Dunst kind of takes under her wing.
Yeah, it's definitely a movie I probably will like. I just haven't caught it.
So yeah, I'll have to give this one a shot. I wanted to see it. It's gotten nothing but good reviews.
There was one thing I wanted to say too. There's just one negative review. The guy said it was just American imperialist propaganda. I'm like, it's not. Like that's not. It's not glorifying war. It's showing you how terrifying the situation was for these men. They're just stuck in a building. People all around trying to kill them. They can't go outside because you might get shot with a rocket. It's not making it seem like a good time. Like it seems like this is hell, and that's what I like. Like I like that.
Yeah, I had seen a lot of people on Threads really have that sentiment about why they didn't want to go see it because they thought it was that.
Yeah, it's not. It's just intense. You're in there with these guys and you want them to make it, and that's what I thought, and that's what I liked about it.
Yeah, cool. I'll have to check that out. I did see that the 4K Blu-ray is now up for pre-order for that.
Oh, is it?
If you do want to grab that. Yeah, it didn't have a specific shipping date for it. It just said shipping summer of 2025.
I think that's how they're going to do every movie now. Just they're going to be like, hey, put your pre-order down.
Yeah, I think they all listened to the podcast and heard that we had suggested that for months
I think
now,
so. So we should get some overhead from that, right?
We saved the
We
industry.
saved the industry. We thank you.
All right, you got anything else for Warfare?
Nope. I think that's it, my friend. It was the Battle of Ramadi. I know if I said that wrong in the first time, and I apologize. Battle of Ramadi.
Okay. Next up, I wanted to take a moment to talk about the box office from this weekend because it was really interesting. So, first up at number 1 was Sinners. Yep. It took 45.7 million.
Only like a 6% drop, right?
A 6% drop, which is one of the best second weeks an R-rated movie has ever gotten.
Yeah. Word of mouth's big.
Usually it has, 20% or something like that. But I was really hoping after we had talked about that it would beat its first weekend take. But it got really close because if you remember, I think it was 48.
I think so.
So it was 48 first weekend, second weekend 45.7. Still took number 1, set a whole bunch of records like the one I just mentioned. And so that was cool.
Do you think the one news outlet can say it's a hit now?
I would think so. I really would. It's unfortunate that Thunderbolts comes out now and is going to be basically taking all of the IMAX spots away from it. Yeah, so that's the one thing that's going to really impact it this coming weekend. But what's crazy is people all week have really been showing on social media that everybody's there every day trying to watch this. I wish so badly I could have watched the 70mm version of it. That would have been so cool. But alas, I wasn't going to go to New York City for that.
Right. There's only like 6 or so places in America that can show that. 10, okay. I don't think Buffalo's one of them.
And there are 0 in Virginia. I think there's one in Canada. I don't know. Maybe that's not too far from you.
It's not. I haven't been to Canada in a while. Got my passport. I can go.
Yeah. So the worldwide gross for Sinners right now is 168.7 million.
Heck yeah.
So it's quickly approaching that. It just needs to get to 180 to make up its box office, or to make up its budget. So to remind everybody, the way Hollywood budgets work is that if you spend $90 million on a movie, you have to make back $180 million for it to be profitable, because you are going to split the profits of that movie with theaters, and you spend half of your budget on marketing by general rule. It's not always exactly 50%. But generally it's somewhere in that. If you spent 90 on this, you probably spent 40 to 50 million on marketing. So you do that math all together, and because they're splitting it, you got to double it. So 180 million, and it's profitable. And then after that, the digital version and all that. So that one's approaching that mark. So also at number 2 at the box office was Star Wars Episode 3: Revenge of the Sith.
How?
This is the biggest re-release ever, taking the number 2 spot. That is crazy.
I had no idea it was even coming out for a re-release, and it shocks me it made that much money. I guess I shouldn't say shocked, but it's no one's favorite Star Wars movie. Don't tell me that it is.
The interesting thing about it is Star Wars fans are the most fickle fans out there, and people are really coming around to they hate what they're getting now.
Oh yeah.
Star Wars fans would be the thing, so they really hate the sequel trilogy. They hate the sequel trilogy, if you ask them, more than they hated the prequel trilogy. Now they're starting to come back around on the prequel trilogy, but I will say, I think Revenge of the Sith probably is the best of the prequels.
Oh yeah, that's not saying much, but yeah.
It's not saying much.
I mean, the Clone Wars was boring.
Clone Wars is ultra boring.
Yeah, and then
so boring.
You get the bulk
2.5 hours,
nothing,
and you could easily cut like an hour and a half off that movie. And
then the first one has the bowl cut kid running around with racist aliens, and I just don't give a crap about it.
I will say the pod racing though.
Nah, it's all right.
The best part about that is that it resulted in Star Wars Pod Racers for Nintendo 64.
Damn it, I was just about to take that.
It's crazy that this movie took the number 2 spot.
Did not see that coming.
Yeah, it took 42.2 million.
That's crazy. And then
It is
third
crazy.
place was The Accountant, right?
Third place was The Accountant 2. Fourth place, Minecraft. Once
Still
again,
hanging in
still
there.
pulling in
Yeah.
money. Yeah, 22.7 million Minecraft pulled in. It's just still kicking it. And then number 5 was Until Dawn.
Mm.
The thing with Until Dawn is it has a very, very small budget. So even though it's down here a ways, it's still doing
fine.
pretty decent
Yeah.
because I forget. I think it's
I think
budget's
18 I saw, maybe.
15
Oh, wow.
million and worldwide gross 18 million.
Yeah, they're good. They're happy with that.
Yeah, they're doing just fine. Yeah. They'll make their money, and that's the power of
Horror.
low budget horror
Yep.
movies.
Yep. We almost went and watched it, and we based it on nothing. So.
Yeah, you know what that one is directed by too is David F. Sandberg. You know,
No,
him?
the name doesn't sound familiar.
Yeah, so he did the Shazam movies.
Oh, okay, first one was fun,
and he did Annabelle Creation and Lights Out.
Oh, I like Lights Out.
Yeah, so I think that he had said after he did Shazam Fury of the Gods and it didn't do very well that he was going to stay away from franchise things. One would argue that Until Dawn is a franchise thing. It's a video game franchise. You're still doing IP. It's not original. Right. I think he should really stick to that after this and maybe do something that's like wholly original after this. But it's still making money. So, what they are not going to learn any lessons from this.
If they make it a little bit more, they'll get an Until Dawn too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, again, like I love the video game. I'll give the movie the benefit of the doubt, but I'll wait until it's streaming somewhere to watch it. Maybe like October time.
Maybe. That's a good transition. So this week is halfway to Halloween. Do you have anything you're going to watch for it?
Yes, I do. I am going to watch The Frighteners because I have had an urge to watch The Frighteners for a few weeks now. I don't know why, and it's a great reason to do so.
Nice. Frighteners is a great one.
What about you?
I'm a big fan of that. I think I'm going to go with Old Reliable and bust out an 80s 4K movie, and I'm thinking it's going to be The Fog.
Nice. I should watch The Fog too. Did I tell you I got the weird 2-pack? Has The Fog and The Howling on it.
Oh, yeah. Nice. That's fun. That's a great 2-pack. I thought you were going to say The Fog and The Fog remake.
Oh, God. No. I don't think they sell The Fog remake because it's just a crime against humanity.
It's like I saw there was this big special edition box of Chinatown, and it's like in 4K, and it's got like this nice packaging and all that, and then they include the 2 Jakes in there too. And everybody says that the 2 Jakes sucks, and it's funny because it's only on Blu-ray. It's not. They didn't even upgrade that one to 4K.
Yeah. There was some box that I got where it had all. It might have been like the Friday the 13th box set way back when. At the very end, there was just like it was like Blu-ray. In the very end, there was like a DVD of Jason Goes to Hell. I'm like, that's fair.
Just a DVD. Yeah. They were just like throwing out old stuff and just put that in there. Like they just had like boxes in the warehouse to clear.
Like we got 2,000 boxes of this. Let's just. They'll like it. They'll be happy.
Yeah. Somebody will be happy. We'll be happy. At least.
It's out of the warehouse.
Yeah. So that's fun. Yeah, let me know what you end up watching. I think I'm gonna go with The Fog though. It's I've got that 4K and I'm a big fan of it. So and I have like 2 or 3 different versions.
You do.
Of that on 4K.
You do. I've seen that.
Too much.
That's okay.
Too much. Okay, let's jump into the news. You're gonna love this first one. Predator Badlands trailer. You watched that, right?
I didn't see the trailer. I know. I missed it.
Wow.
I don't know.
It's been out for days. I sent it to you.
You did?
Many days. Yeah, I sent it to you on Instagram.
Oh, yeah, you
did.
Had
to watch it in phone mode, but...
I think that's the reason why I didn't watch it. I'm like, I'm not watching this on my phone. I'll watch it when I get home. And then you get home and your brain turns off. At least mine does.
You want to watch it right now?
Yeah. Let me watch it right now.
It looks pretty damn cool. You're not going to notice something. I'll tell you what it is after you finish.
I didn't think you survived.
Oh, I'm glad. I need to watch it. I've been meaning to. November 7th.
The lifetime away.
Is that Who? The band Who? All right, I'm in.
Yeah, so some Easter eggs that are in that one. They show the thing on the wall, the alien heads. One of the alien heads is shaped exactly like the aliens in Independence.
Oh, really? That's cool.
Yeah, 20th Century Fox owns all these
That means
things
Disney
now.
does.
So
Yeah.
Disney's like, let's let them play with the toys.
Exactly. All the money. Let's just
Yeah.
keep printing it.
Ellie Fanning's character, somebody zoomed in on her eyes. She's a cyborg, and her eyes are Wayland Yutani's logos. So she's going to be, it looks like, a cyborg that is like working with the Predator for this
Right.
movie.
Yeah, it looks cool. Definitely, I think I heard we talked about. At least we've heard rumors that it's going to be a young Predator trying to prove himself. Exactly what you get from that trailer. Not sure how Ellie Fanning fits in, but I mean, if she's a cyborg, then she might maybe Wayland Yutani dropped her off on the planet for money somehow. They really don't have plans.
Maybe he's, she crash landed on this planet with him, or not with him, but she crash landed there. He's there, something like along those lines. If she's a cyborg, maybe she's learned his language,
Right.
And that would be cool because you could have them communicating with each other, and you're getting like that language full on. They're doing subtitles and everything.
We could actually hear a Predator talk. Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah, and in that trailer, you hear them talk about the Predator's species. It's Yautja, and you hear them like chant that. It's like Yautja, and it's the first time they've actually ever said
That's
that
cool.
in one of the movies. Everything else is based, I believe it's all based off just like the comics and everything is where that's originally from. So I'm in with this.
Absolutely.
Super in.
It didn't take much to sell me on it, but yeah, I'm sold.
It looks like a completely different vibe than anything we've gotten so far, too. And the thought of like accompanying this Predator as they're doing their hunts of like other aliens, super cool idea.
That's a great idea, and it's because it's not the same thing we've seen. They're trying something different, which is awesome, and it's good that they brought back the director from Prey. So, I'm in. Trust him.
Do you think, with them having the Predator, with them introducing Wayland Yutani like that, do you think they're gonna prime us up for another Alien versus
absolutely.
Predator movie?
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
Like that's got to be where they're going with
There's
it.
no reason.
We talked about Fede Alvarez being into that idea and doing like a From Dusk Till Dawn thing where two different people, write it.
There's no way, no reason, to say that you have the Wayland Yutani logos on her eyes if that is what they said, which, why don't you trust the internet? They're never wrong.
They zoomed in, they enhanced.
Enhance. But yeah, there's no reason to introduce Wayland Yutani into the Predator universe without, bringing back the aliens, the xenomorphs.
Yeah. Yeah,
so someone pointed that out
to
me the other day.
Wouldn't it be crazy if they started like bringing in other aliens from other franchises and things?
Bring in the Independence Day.
Other monsters. Yeah.
Bring in the critters.
I don't know.
Let's see the Predators fight off critters. Stitch. Bring in Stitch. Wally. Wally's not an alien, but he's a robot. I'm trying to remember the trophy case from Predator 2, and it's just I don't remember anything other than the alien head and like a bunch of like randos that don't look like anything else is established.
Yeah.
But bring in the aliens from Independence Day. Just go. If you're gonna go nuts with it, go nuts with it.
That's the thing is, by all accounts, the Alien versus Predator movies don't take place in the Alien universe.
No, right? I don't think so.
I think you can say probably that they happen in the Predator universe. They don't discount anything there, but I think they could do a similar thing here where like still takes place in the Predator universe, pull things from these other franchises, but they don't take place in their universe, right? So this wouldn't take place in the Independence Day universe because you got all that nonsense that comes with it. But these aliens are an alien in this universe.
You know what they could do, and I brought this up a bunch of times. I'm going to keep doing it. You remember the Kenner action figures of aliens back in the day? You could have a Predator go to an alien planet that's full of those. There you go. There's your movie.
Yeah.
Predator versus Gorilla Alien. Predator versus Scorpion Alien. Bull Alien. All of that.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
How much fun would that be?
I'm in. I think that this one's going to be a whole lot of fun, and at the very least, it's something different.
And good for them for trying that, and that's pretty exciting that they drop that little Wayland Yutani Easter egg for us because they knew we were going to find that. There's no reason to put that in the trailer unless we're going to find it, just to get the hype going.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's cool that Ellie Fanning's character is not just like a... There's so many just things you could do with that would be like really just normal. Mm-hmm. Casting her as a cyborg that is kind of just like a sidekick of the Predator for whatever reason, you know, because she knows his language basically, and she's not fighting, mm-hmm. you know. That's a really innovative way to do that idea. You know, they easily could have done any of the generic ideas that you or I or the internet came up with, but I don't think anybody guessed that she was going to be a Weyland-Yutani cyborg.
No.
Yeah. So cool. No. I'm super into that idea.
I am too. I'm pumped for that movie too. Let's not look past the movie. It's going to be fun.
Yeah. November 7th.
Yeah, so far away, but
it is so far away. But hey, you got something to look forward to next
week. Yeah, it's true.
You're not even out of this.
When I'm in my own, when I'm in my own house, it'll be fun.
Yeah, there you go. All right, so next up on the news, Karl Urban set to return in new Dredd series for Amazon Prime.
I thought that was fake news at first. I looked into it. I'm like, holy crap, it's not fake news. I am pumped for this. The Karl Urban Dredd is an underrated, fantastic, not just comic book movie, just a fantastic movie. And I'm glad that they're finally going back to it. Like it should have a sequel, a series should have happened 10 years ago. And I'm glad it's finally happening.
Yeah, but he's been really, really, I assume, getting along well with Amazon doing The Boys. So they're probably like, hey, once we wrap this up, let's keep working together. And he's like, count me in.
I wonder if they gave him a blank check. They're like, what do you want to do after The Boys? Because it's ending.
Yeah. What is the other thing that he's doing?
Mortal Kombat.
Mortal Kombat.
Yep. That was one of the things when I was at the movie theater to see Account 2. I saw the poster for the new Mortal Kombat, and it's just a fake poster for one of his Johnny Cage movies.
Nice, yeah. That's awesome. I didn't see that at mine.
Yeah. The Geneseo Theater has digital poster frames now. I hate it, but you get to see a bunch more posters. I just like the set one poster. There's have it there and be
like, touch it.
Yeah, I want to look at it instead of it like flash.
Yeah.
Flash.
So it disappears while you're looking at
it.
That is what we call a bad user experience.
Yeah. You're like, what was that movie? And then you have to wait like 3 minutes where they cycle through every movie come out this year. It was really bad when it first started. They just like showed like remember like when Blade was announced by Marvel and they said like that black logo that said Blade.
Oh yeah. And then nothing ever happened.
They had that in the movie theater for a while. It's like this hasn't even been made yet. What the hell are you doing? But
yeah. Gets the people going.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, so that's a super cool idea. I don't know what they're going to do with Dredd. You know, I didn't read the Dredd comics or anything, so I don't know jack shit about what they would potentially do with that. But they built a really cool universe, and it's really, like, visually appealing. So as long as it's still leaning into the visual aspect of it and the ultra-violence and the, you know, all of that, where it's, like, heads exploding and
yeah.
You know, where it's like over the top ultra violence, I think it'll be successful.
And that's what The Boys is, so.
Yeah. All right, so next up, I Know What You Did Last Summer. You watched that trailer?
I just saw it drop today, right?
No, that dropped last Wednesday.
Oh, well.
Tuesday.
Well,
Wednesday?
crap, I noticed it today and I was going to watch it and I haven't got to it.
Okay. Well, we can cover that next time,
right.
maybe.
Yeah, I'll watch it for next week.
I'll tell you, the cast of it looks completely insufferable.
Oh, that's a bad sign.
Yeah, you're going to watch it and you're going to be like, I hate this. I did see in the news that apparently the guy that directed it tried over and over and over and over again to get Sarah Michelle Gellar to return. He said he was writing the ridiculous scenarios to bring her character back.
And she's like, no.
She just refused to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, I'm not doing that.
I mean.
But you know where she is? Her and Elijah Wood have been cast in the Ready or Not sequel.
I know. That is exciting. First of all, that's another sequel that I didn't think we were going to get. I thought that the time frame had passed, and I love Ready or Not. I think it's a very, very good movie. It's one of my favorite.
Ready or Not is awesome.
Like, if someone like suggested, like, we're not big horror fans, but we want to watch something for Halloween, I would suggest that. Absolutely. And
yeah,
it's exciting it's getting a sequel, and then that casting, you're just like, ooh, all right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I wonder how they're going to do it, because they are bringing
Samara Weaving.
They are bringing her back. I would really love if they kept her in the same outfit, but I'm sure they
No,
won't.
I don't see how they could do that. But maybe they could do a movie where like the curse from the first movie follows her, and then like maybe like Elijah Wood and Sarah Michelle Gellar are like her family that they briefly mentioned in the first movie. She has to go back there, and then maybe like they try to like satiate the demon by killing her or something like that. Because in the first movie they mentioned that she doesn't have a good family life, so maybe
Yeah.
you could do something like that. That's just me spitballing, but
Yeah, that could be it. They could also have another wedding, and she's showing up to save somebody.
yeah, maybe that wasn't the only family that had the deal with the devil, so to speak.
Yeah, that movie is so fun though. The cast of it is really good. The fact that they're going this route, I have a feeling that Sarah Michelle Gellar will probably be one of those family members that is trying to hunt somebody if they repeat that aspect of it, and probably Elijah Wood.
Oh
too,
yeah, I would
right?
think like those.
They both beg to be like evil
Yeah,
family members that are rich family members too. They got to be
yeah,
rich
they
again,
have to
right?
be. Like, you don't want to see them as like low class people like trying to like do something. Like you need to have them be crazy characters like the first movie, like the what's her name? The mom in that movie, McDowell.
Oh yeah, Andy
Yeah,
McDowell.
like you need to have like Sarah Michelle Gellar like fill that role and stuff like that. But
Mm.
yeah, that's exciting, and I'm also very much into that idea of them continuing that franchise.
Yeah, hell yeah. Okay, sticking with this theme, Scream 7 has announced another character's return. It wasn't really announced, it was leaked, and then they confirmed it. You know
I
who?
didn't hear this part actually. No.
Dewey.
Interesting.
Yep. And then they also said that was one that was supposed to be a surprise for the movie
Balls.
that people have ruined. So that brings me to what I had mentioned to you the other day.
Flashbacks, right?
Well, I had read a theory online that, and I really doubt that this is what they're doing, but boy, would it be cool if it was. If they were doing a New Nightmare style twist
I do remember
where
this conversation now. I apologize.
the movie takes place completely outside of the traditional universe / canon, and a ghost face is hunting actors of the Scream movie instead of characters within the Scream movie.
Yeah. And some people might not know that A New Nightmare was not like a traditional Freddy movie. It was, as you said, an entity took the form of Freddy and was attacking real life people. So it'd be cool if they did that idea with this. That way you can get these actors back without having to do the flashback crap that we were talking about.
Yeah. And I think that I like that idea a lot because you could bring back so many different
Right.
characters.
Liev Schreiber?
You know? You can do anything with them too. You can do anything you want. Yeah, Liev Schreiber, Timothy Oliphant, all of these actors. Randy, you can bring him back.
The one girl from Roseanne.
Yeah, who else was, fun little parts?
Sarah Michelle Gellar?
Sarah Michelle Gellar's there. Joshua Jackson's there.
Rebecca Gayheart.
Yeah, Omar Epps.
Yeah, Omar Epps, yeah. Halle Berry?
Yeah.
No, Jada Pinkett Smith. My bad.
Yeah, not Halle Berry.
My bad.
The woman from Arrested Development that's married to Ellen DeGeneres.
Oh, Portia de Rossi?
Her and Rebecca.
Yeah.
Her and Rebecca Gayheart from Scream 2.
I remember that now. They were red herrings that you knew weren't the killer, but they were just fun to throw in there. And they kind of just disappeared in that movie, didn't they? Just like one scene, they're like, nah, we're done.
Yeah, they just vanished. So they're still alive out there. They could make a comeback in this. So I mean, I know they won't do that. I feel like there's a very slim chance that that's the idea they're going with. But I think it would be really cool because it would harken back to the fact that Wes Craven did New Nightmare. That was his return to it. This is Kevin Williams' return to the franchise. It'd be a cool way to do it. But I really think that they're going to do something with the idea of maybe there's a
cult of Ghostface.
Like a
cult of Ghostface, I mean to say.
Yeah, so like a cult of Ghostface type thing, but then also like how is Dewey still alive? Well, they probably would have had to. So he got stabbed in a hospital. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that they saved him there and then just told everybody he was dead and then moved him into witness protection. And maybe there's a town where survivors of the killings are all living.
That's
and
possible.
you get a bunch of these characters there and people that have survived the movies, and they're all there, you know.
That'd be cool. And I mean, we've seen characters survive insane things in that franchise, especially the last couple movies. So it's not out of the realm of possibility, as you said. That'd be a cool idea. Like I didn't like how his character's story ended, so it'd be nice if they kind of did a mulligan.
They did him so dirty. It was stupid.
Do a mulligan on that one.
Stupid.
Dumb. Hate it.
Yeah. So I don't know. Well, keep an eye out on that one. It seems like with every week we get a new announcement for that movie. So eventually, hopefully, we get some more like concrete information on what the actual story is going to be, and we can stop.
The cast of that movie's got to be cost them a bunch of money at this point. Like they're throwing some serious bucks at it after the whole. Well, I mean, the whole Melissa Barrera, Jenna Ortega fiasco. I guess they're trying to save face a bit.
Well, they're not throwing that much money at it. They're not throwing Patrick Dempsey money at it.
Who can? Other than Dexter.
Not even Grey's Anatomy could.
Other than Dexter, the most recent season.
Yeah, it's yeah. But well, I mean that's the thing too, is like a lot of these actors aren't going to cost that much.
You're right.
Money,
You're right.
David Arquette's not doing that much outside of this.
You don't know that.
But he's always it's always a pleasure to have him there. I mean, he's doing stuff, but like it's usually bit parts or low budget movies or things like that.
It'll be a fun thing for him to do. What if he did a new Eight-Legged Freaks? I'd be in for that.
I would be in for that too. I have that on DVD.
I almost bought it on VHS the other day, but I decided not to.
Hey boy.
There he is.
Yeah.
Fluff boy.
Yeah, he's a good boy. That's my water. Stay away from that.
I think I want it.
Yeah, I think he wants dinner. Okay, so next up, so you probably haven't seen any of these other trailers that dropped out. So Smashing Machine.
No, that's the Rock movie, though. He's going for an Oscar.
Yep, trailer dropped for that one. Weapons.
No, I heard about that, though. It's like Julia Gardner, right? And Creepy Kids.
Julia Garner, Josh Brolin, directed by Zach Kreger, who did Barbarian.
Nice.
It looks very scary.
I mean, Barbarian's great, so I took way too long to watch Barbarian, and this one I won't miss then.
Yeah, so check that trailer out because it looks really good. Julia Garner looks like she's getting absolutely terrorized by ghost children, so it looks pretty scary.
Those kids are always creepy.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things, like, it's just inherently creepy, like ghost kids, or just kids in general, really, to be honest with you. And Hollywood knows this, like, otherwise we wouldn't have had all these movies with ghost kids or children in corns and stuff.
Yeah. And Sinister. Yeah. It gives me Sinister vibes a little bit, actually.
Oh, yeah. Sinister. Duh. My brain went to Insidious, and then it was like, no, dummy. You're thinking of the wrong movie franchise. You've seen Sinister.
Sinister's awesome. Insidious is awesome, too. And so, finally, you probably haven't watched the Fear Street Prom Queen trailer.
I didn't know there was a trailer for it. You gotta send me more stuff, dude.
Yeah.
Nah, this is on me. This is on me. I've just been busy with fixing the leak and moving back and forth between the two houses with my parents on vacation and just not having a bathroom. Yeah. It's been a lot. But I'm making excuses right now. I can stop 2 minutes and watch trailers.
So one of the things that's a surprise in it is that Lili Taylor is in it. You know her?
No.
She's the mother from The Conjuring.
Oh, okay.
Gets possessed.
Okay.
She's also the one that's haunted in The Haunting.
The Haunting.
The Haunting.
So she's a horror movie veteran.
She certainly is.
But I really
wouldn't be surprised if she was the killer in this.
I really enjoyed those 3 Fear Street movies, and I'm happy to see that come back too. That's just a Netflix thing, right?
Yes, it is. And yeah, the Fear Street movies are great. I was a big fan of those, all 3 of them.
Shauna said that she liked the 3rd one the best, and I think I like the 94 one the best just because I like the aesthetic and the music and everything.
Which one is the 3rd one? Is that the one that takes place in like the 1800s, or is that the camp?
No,
one?
The 3rd one's the 1800s. The 2nd one is the 70s camp one, which is great.
Yeah, I mean they're all great. I don't know that I have a favorite. I've only seen them once, so. But I mean that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I have a favorite.
I'd probably say
if I was going to lean for, I'd probably go the 3rd one and then the 1st one and then the 2nd. Oh. But like I almost don't want to do that because I mean, like I said, they're all good. No. And to put the 2nd one in 3rd place is like
kind of
like it's all very they're all very close. Right. Like I would say they're all like maybe like within 0.1.
Yeah, that's fair. So like it's basically picking your favorite candy at that point in time. It's all good. It's whatever you're in the mood for that day.
Candy's candy.
Candy's candy.
Yeah. Everything all right over there?
Yeah, I just had a dog show up and say hi.
Oh. Hey, me too. Okay, you got anything for Physical
I
Media
have
Showcase this
nothing,
week?
my friend. What about you?
I
I have nothing.
Uh,
I have games.
so I don't have anything to show, but I did want to point out that I bought the vinyl records of both Sinners albums that went on pre-order
Awesome.
for the score and for the various artists.
That's cool.
And the various artists is really cool because it's basically the score with people singing over it instead of people just doing their own songs for the movie. So it's really interesting that they did it that way. And Jerry Cantrell actually does one of the
Oh,
songs.
damn. Okay. I'm in for that.
Yeah, so check it out on
I will.
Spotify if you have that. It's just like Sinner's official playlist.
I do have Spotify.
And then look for Jerry Cantrell's name.
Thumb just snapped in half.
I think you'd like it.
I would. Everything he does, I like. I'm a big Alice in Chains fan, but yeah, anything he does since then too, I've always liked. Also liked. I mean to say, also liked. Also.
Yeah. I was listening to Alice in Chains all day today. I listened to like 3 of their albums at work today.
Yeah. When they
And I listened to Mad Season.
Oh, I like Mad Season. That's a fun album.
Mad Season's awesome. I actually started my day with that. I was like, you know what? I feel like listening to Mad Season, so I listened to it on the way to work, and then I listened to Dirt, and then Jar of Flies, and then I just played like the whole like compilation album of like all their greatest hits.
That's a great day.
That was a great day, and then I finished it with Stone Temple Pilots.
Fantastic. Yeah, I saw that Soundgarden went in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, so I listened to them this morning, and I think I don't rate Soundgarden as well as like SDP or Alice in Chains, but they deserve their spot,
They do. It's interesting. I think that Chris Cornell is the best singer of all those groups.
But his band's the weakest.
But Soundgarden, I probably like the least.
Yeah.
But I will say that like it's one of those weird cases where I'm a big advocate that Audioslave is a much better band than Soundgarden. I'm a big Audioslave fan, and I mean Chris Cornell's solo stuff is great too. Like that acoustic folk album he did.
That is
he's
really
got
good.
A lot of good stuff.
Yeah, so it's cool that the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is putting in the 90s bands. I mean to say, Nirvana's been in there for a decade now, but they got Pearl Jam's in there, Soundgarden's in there, Foo Fighters are in there now, so it's only a matter of time until like I said, Alice in Chains, Stone Temple Pilots get in there, but the 90s we were spoiled as kids. Like you didn't really realize like like all those classic albums were coming out and we're just like, yeah, whatever, it's out.
Yo, Pearl Jam's 10 was literally everywhere.
You couldn't get past it.
That was so crazy. It was you could not get anywhere without that. Like they played that on the Nerve nonstop.
You turn on MTV, Jeremy would be playing.
Yeah, that's a great album.
Is. I need to get that on vinyl actually. I don't have any Pearl Jam on vinyl. No, I have Vitalogy, which is fine, but I need to get 10.
I have their Unplugged album.
That's
on
good.
Vinyl. It was a record store day special.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I was pumped to have found that because I went like way late. I went like the day after all of it was finished, just because record store day's a madhouse. Lucky, I still found.
I have Unplugged. I have is not Alice in Chains. I'm sorry, Nirvana Unplugged. I should get Alice in Chains.
I have that one as well. That is a great album.
It's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Random music talk.
All right, well, yeah. I think that's a good place to wrap up.
All right, my friend.
Cool. Well, thank you for joining me this week, and thank you everybody for joining us. I hope you had fun with this episode. If you did, please take a moment to rate it, like it, share it, follow, and thank you. We'll see you next week.